BetBlitz.
Hello everyone, this is Mike with BetBlitz. Welcome back to your source for daily sports picks. Today's a new day and we are looking to set you up with some of the best picks on both PrizePicks as well as Underdog. If you're new to the channel, take a moment to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you can have early access to our picks as soon as we post and before the lines get bumped. Also, take a moment and hit the like button. We do have a like goal for this video, and if this video gets above 300 likes, we'll be dropping bonus picks in our next video. So take a moment and hit that like button. Also, at the end of this video, let us know down in the comment section below which of these picks you will be taking, as well as the ones you won't, and any other lines that you think have a great chance of hitting. And if the picks in this video aren't enough for you and you'd like access to even more picks, click our link in the description below to gain access to the outlet. These guys are the premier sports betting community, and right now you can gain access to them for 15% off when you use code BLITZ. These guys will get you right, so go give them a look. Today we will be getting into the NBA's Wednesday slate of games for round 2 of the NBA playoffs, so again take a moment and hit that like button. If this video gets above 300 likes, we'll be dropping bonus picks in our next video. For our first pick, we'll be under the points tab, and this time we'll be selecting Derrick White for more than 18.5 points. Now taking a quick look here on Outlier, and by the way, if you'd like to try Outlier for yourself, click our link in the description below to gain a free 7-day trial. We see that this line Derrick White has actually exceeded in just 5 of his last 10 games, so this line may come as a bit of a surprise to you. However, this is a line Derrick White has actually exceeded in 3 of his last 5 playoff games, including 3 of the last 4 matchups he's faced off against the New York Knicks. And unfortunately, with Jason Tatum suffering that terrible Achilles injury in their last game, we wish him a speedy recovery. And the Celtics being win or go home, at home, we are expecting them to lean more heavily on their players, such as Derrick White and Jaylen Brown. But now Derrick White and the Boston Celtics will be facing off against a New York Knicks defense that this season has been very solid overall when it comes to defending their opponents. Top 10 defensively in points allowed to their opponents overall. However, when it comes to defending against opponents' shooting guards specifically, the New York Knicks have been pretty subpar, allowing a lot of points to the position. Here's the Knicks' defensive numbers against opponent point guards for those of you who want to see that as well. But overall, with Jason Tatum being out, we do expect Joe Mazzulla and the Boston Celtics to lean more heavily on Derrick White and for him to have plenty of opportunity to reach this line. Now taking a quick look here at his minutes, we see that Derrick White is getting a solid dose of minutes per game over his last 10 games, near 38 minutes per game. And one of the things we do like about Derrick White is his high efficiency from the field over his last 10 games, near 50% field goal shooting on over 13 attempts per game. Shooting a very respectable 38% from behind the arc on over 9 attempts per game over his last 10 games. So coming into this game, we do like Derrick White to have plenty of time as well as opportunity to reach this line. So for all these reasons, we'll be taking Derrick White for more than 18.5 points. Now for those of you wisely making picks with Underdog as well, we want to share with you a couple of plays that we thought had a great chance of hitting, and that is Karl-Anthony Towns for lower than 0.5 double-doubles, as well as Jonathan Kuminga for lower than 1.5 three-pointers made. And if you guys like making picks on the traditional PRA stats, but also want to have access to making picks on whether or not players get triple doubles or double doubles, click our link in the description below and sign up for Underdog using code BETBLITZ, because when you do, you'll receive a free pick as well as $1,000 in bonus cash. And right now, Underdog has been going absolutely insane with all their free picks, discounted player props, and promos that they are dropping as gifts in your lobby on a day-to-day basis. So if you aren't already on Underdog, make sure you guys aren't leaving any money on the table. Go lock these in, sign up using code BETBLITZ, claim your free pick and bonus cash, and trust us, your profits will increase. Now for our next play, we'll be under the rebounds plus assists tab, and this time we'll be selecting Josh Hart for less than 14 rebounds plus assists. Now, full transparency, this line was initially at 14.5, where we did like it a lot much better. But if you guys have been on PrizePicks and any other DFS apps or sports betting, you know that line bumping is a huge problem, and that is why we want to introduce you guys to Epic Fantasy. This amazing platform has incredible features, and one of the best features that we do love on Epic Fantasy is that they have line consistency, meaning that they do not bump their lines. So the lines that you see at the beginning of the day will be the same that you see toward the end of the day. And another great feature that we do love about Epic Fantasy is that you have the ability to still win your slips despite missing your plays, because when you play on Epic Fantasy, instead of playing against the house, you play against other users on the app, whether one-on-one or in a tournament setting, and all you have to do is get more plays correct than your opponent for your slip to win. And best of all, on Epic Fantasy, they have incredibly high payout boost, much higher than many of these DFS apps. And to top it off, when you sign up on Epic using code BLITZ, they will give you a nice little deposit match. They are available on both Google Play and the Apple Store, so go give them a look, and we know you'll love them as much as we do. Now again, we do like this Josh Hart line at under 14 still. We see this is a line he's actually failed to exceed in 5 of his last 10 games, including 3 ties, as well as in 7 of the 13 matchups he's played versus the Boston Celtics. Additionally, Josh Hart and the New York Knicks will be facing off against a Boston Celtics defense that this season had been pretty solid overall when it came to defending against their opponent's rebounds plus assists, not giving up too many assists overall or rebounds to their opponents. And when it came to defending against opponent shooting guards, the Boston Celtics were one of the better defensive teams. Here's the Celtics defensive numbers against opponent small forwards for those of you who want to see that as well. But overall, we don't expect Josh Hart to have plenty of opportunity to reach this line. Now taking a quick look here at his minutes, we see that Josh Hart is getting a solid dose of minutes per game over his last 10 games, near 38 minutes per game. And he is a very solid rebounder as well as playmaker. However, coming into this game without Jason Tatum on the Boston Celtics, and the Celtics being down 3-1, we are expecting the Knicks to come out aggressive and try and close this series out by putting the Celtics away early, and again, just limit their overall minutes for their starters so they can rest up for the conference finals. So for all these reasons, we'll be taking Josh Hart for less than 14 rebounds plus assists. Now before we get into our third play, for those of you guys who are looking to take your sports betting to the next level, we wanted to share with you RotoWire's incredible platform. They've got a variety of tools, not just for individual player props and picks, but for sports betting, DFS apps, and fantasy sports as well, if you guys are into that as well. But one of the most effective tools that we do love on RotoWire is their player projection tool. And what we love about this tool is your availability to pick whatever platforms that you're on. So let's say you're on PrizePicks, Underdog, and Sleeper. You could simply click below and have all the picks filtered out there, and from there you could even type up a player's name. And we love how RotoWire neatly organizes each of these props into plays that are leaning more and plays that are leaning less, and it tells you how the DFS sites are rating certain lines to go over, how sportsbooks are rating it, and RotoWire gives their own individual projection on each line. And again, it does this for all of the props that are associated with that player. And best of all, you could even make your picks directly from the RotoWire app. And again, this is just one of many different tools. Again, if you guys are into sports betting, DFS apps, or fantasy sports, they've got a variety of features that will enhance your experience. And right now, RotoWire is going to give you a nice little 25% discount when you sign up using code BLITZ. So make sure to click our link in the description below and check them out. Now for our next play, we'll be under the rebounds plus assists tab, and this time we'll be selecting Jimmy Butler for less than 13 rebounds plus assists. Now taking a quick look here on Outlier, we see that this aligned Jimmy Butler has actually failed to exceed in 5 of his last 10 games. Additionally, this aligned Jimmy Butler has failed to exceed in 70% of his last 20 games, as well as in near 70% of the games he's played this season, and in 3 of his last 5 matchups versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, Jimmy Butler and the Golden State Warriors will be facing off against a Minnesota Timberwolves defense that this season has been very solid overall when it comes to defending against their opponents' rebounds plus assists, not allowing too many rebounds or assists to their opponents overall. And when it comes to defending against opponents' small forwards, the Minnesota Timberwolves are pretty average overall, again, not allowing too many assists, but giving up a fair share amount of rebounds. Here's the Timberwolves' defensive numbers against opponent power forwards for those of you who want to see that as well. But overall, we don't expect Jimmy Butler to have plenty of opportunity to reach this line. Now taking a quick look here at his minutes, we see that Jimmy Butler is getting a solid dose of minutes per game over his last 10 games, over 35 minutes per game. However, his minutes have not necessarily translated to an increase in his overall rebounds plus assists, again falling below this line in the majority of games he's played this season, and coming into this game with the Golden State Warriors being down 3-1, and without their best player in Stephen Curry, we don't expect Jimmy Butler to have plenty of opportunity to reach this line. So for all these reasons, we'll be taking Jimmy Butler for less than 13 rebounds plus assist. If you're new to the channel, take a moment to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you can have early access to our picks as soon as we post and before the lines get bumped. Also, take a moment and hit the like button. We do have a like goal for this video, and if this video gets above 300 likes, we'll be dropping bonus picks in our next video, so take a moment and hit that like button. And again, if the picks in this video weren't enough for you and you'd like access to even more picks, click our link in the description below to gain access to the outlet. These guys are the premier sports betting community, and right now you can gain access to them for 15% off when you use code BLITZ, so go give them a look. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.